I'm joined by the Policy Director for the Welsh Conservative Senedd Group. It is Sam Rowlands. Sam, thank you very much. Great to have you on. Do you think it will be a vote winner, then, to actually reverse 20-mile-an-hour speed limits, or is it just a gimmick?
Well, it's certainly not a gimmick. What the Prime Minister's done today is listen to people and their concerns. And that's something the Welsh Government seem to have complete inability to do. The Prime Minister's heard what people in Wales are saying by signing that petition of, as you said earlier, getting close to 500,000 people signing that petition now, because they're sick of not being listened to by the Welsh Government. But I think you're absolutely right to point to this bigger picture, what perhaps some people see as an attack on motorists, because most people depend on cars for getting around their daily lives, especially here in Wales, with many rural communities where cars are really, really important. And in addition to things happening in England around ULEZ and other schemes, in Wales, the Welsh Government has also effectively banned any future road building. So it's not just this one item. There's many things that affect the motorists at the moment, and they get frustrated.
Yeah, just talk to me about that. I think a lot of people won't have been aware of it, which is that you've got all of these different things. So you've got the idea if you drive, an older petrol or diesel car, for me, that would imply that you are maybe in an economic bracket that can't afford to get a new car every few years. Otherwise, it's reasonable to expect that you would have done that. So you're not necessarily the most economically well-off person. You're being told now that you're going to get clobbered left, right and centre. You've then got things like additional ULEZ charges or congestion zone charges. You've got tolls on motorways, all sorts. But in Wales, what you're saying is that they're just not going to build any more roads.
That's right. The Welsh Government, as soon as they got elected, the Labour government at the last elections in 2021, one of the first things they did was reverse a bunch of work which was looking to improve our road network in Wales. And they said, we're going to stop building roads because we don't think it's good for the environment. Now, many people in Wales, as I said, depend on cars for their daily lives. And it can start to sound a little bit like the middle class is taking over with those lovely ideas of how people should live their lives. For many people living in the real world, jump in your car, getting to work, dropping your kids off at school, it is daily reality. And at the moment, we've got a Labour government in Wales who are making that even more difficult for people.
OK, go on. Do you think there's a class war going on here? Do you think that we've got, lovely people with, the socks and sandals brigade who like to swill a glass of Pinot Grigio around the fire pit in their back garden with a Labradoodle somewhere nearby, a bit of foie gras on the go and pontificate about the wider world and can afford to have luxury beliefs? Like, wouldn't it be nice if we all just rode a tandem bike to work on the days that we freely choose to go into the office? And real people who go, right, my life's a bit chaotic. I've got 3 kids here. They're all an absolute nightmare. I've got to get you to school, you to swimming practice. I've got to get to work for my medium-paid job. And those people just want to drive and they want everyone else to shut up and let them get on with it.
I'm not sure I want to say it's a class war, but there does certainly seem to be hints of people perhaps living in a very different world to where most of the people I represent live, which is, as you say, wanting to do the daily things that everyone just wants to enjoy in life and not be restricted to the extent that perhaps they are, making their lives more difficult. So, yeah, what we need to make sure is that people are being properly represented. And I think that's what we've seen in Wales here by this petition. I said on the show yesterday with you, Patrick, that more people now signed this petition than voted for Labour in the last Senedd elections here in Wales. That's a clear message to the Labour Party in Wales. And actually, Rishi Sunak doesn't have to listen to that voice in particular, but he's chosen to because it's the right thing to do.
You know what I am waiting for, by the way? I am waiting for the day that anybody who signed that petition gets called far right. We've had it with the ULEZ thing with Sadiq Khan in London, where it was anyone. You look around at the audience, if you think, well, I'm not entirely convinced that everybody there actually is a member of the far right. But do you think he is potentially now actually hamming up this perceived idea of a war on motorists? What would you say to people from the environmental lobby who say, look, what you're doing here is you're going in the wrong direction. We've just started drilling for new oil and gas. We've slowed down on net zero, and now, you're encouraging more people into their cars. Do you really care about the planet?
Well, let's take a step back for a moment. We're all aware that we need to do our bit to affect climate change. And that's why it's incredible, isn't it, that the UK has been the most effective across the G7 in making that difference over the last 30 years. So we're going in the right direction. My experience in life is that you want to make change effective and make change happen, you have to bring people with you. At the moment, it feels like things are being done to people rather than with people. And we already know that there is a shift towards cleaner vehicles. There is already a shift to the way in which we live our lives, which has to be taken a step at a time. And we have to bring people with us on this metaphorical journey as well as in the real journeys.
Crucially, at 30 miles an hour. Thank you very much. Great to have you on the show, and we'll no doubt chat to you again very soon. Sam Rowlands there.